Welcome to another episode of Nard Knows. And man, I am so excited about this one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm from Michigan. I got my Michigan roots, but I got an Ohio State wide receiver in the building right now in the Canada Football League. Montreal Alouettes star wide receiver. But Ohio State wide receivers, they got a reputation. Austin Mack, going on, brother?
What's going on, Nard, man? Appreciate you for having me out, man. Excited to be here, man. Let's get to it, man. Go Bucks, yes, sir.
Hey, so we're gonna jump right into it, man. They just won the national championship, man. Been a little bit of a while since Ohio State has been on that stage. But what do you make from that game, man? Let's get some of these inside takeaways.
I think it was just complete domination. Nick Saban said it at halftime. If Notre Dame doesn't adjust, it's about to get ugly quick. And that's what we did, man. It was great to see, Ryan come out, Coach Day come out, man, and just, believe in the guys and just put it in their hands. Will was out there. He was extremely, extremely efficient, consistent. Judkins and Trayvon, man, they were running the ball like crazy. And you just saw our defense after that first drive, the defense locked in, the front line. And that's all it is in football. Control the line of scrimmage, have explosive plays, and then turnovers. I think it would have really got out of hand if obviously we didn't have that turnover in the red zone, which I think gave Notre Dame a little bit of momentum. But man, when the time mattered most for Notre Dame to play defense, I mean, number four, man, the best receiver in the country, comes up big, man, with that goal ball to kind of seal the deal for us and hit a field goal, man, kind of make it out of stretch. And I mean, the rest is history, man. That's one of the most seasoned teams you ever seen go through Ohio State. It's going to be a legendary team. I mean, forever. We've only had, I think, 8 total and 3 in the last 50 years. So to see these guys do that, man, to lose to the team up north, like you mentioned, man, and for us, we lose that game, it's usually a terrible season. But now with that opportunity to be in this 12-team playoff, man, to see them raise that trophy, bro, and go through really a gauntlet. They saw the best teams, Tennessee, an SEC school, straight to Oregon, the team that one of the teams that beat them this year, to Texas, the powerhouse of the SEC. And then to finish off with Notre Dame, man. I mean, it was crazy to see, man. Artists, that's a good ass team, and congratulations to them, man. Honestly.
So on that first drive, I'm not gonna lie, when they went down and scored, and the way that they scored was obviously a little sus, but they went down and scored on the first drive, and it's like, okay, this might be a game. What was your mindset? Like, okay, they scored on Ohio State on the first drive. Like, okay, how we about to respond?
Yeah, the normal fan might have thought that was going to be a game. In my head, I watched 8 QB draws, maybe 9. I lost count. All right, and I saw him get up a little limp on one of those hits. So knowing that that's your best player, knowing from just a scouting report going into the game, I didn't really scout them, but I kind of heard some chatter about Notre Dame. I didn't hear too much. But after watching the game, I know number one for their team made some money for sure. He had some like really explosive plays. But what we knew is that they had to run the ball, they had to get in front of the other team, they had to control the time, and they can't really play from behind. They're not built like that. And once I saw that first drive, I'm like, no, they're gonna get that together. Larry Johnson, the best D-line coach in the country, the best D-line in the country, they're gonna get that together. And that's exactly what happened. Because we came right back, we responded, and then what'd you see from there? Once Notre Dame was in second and long, third and long, I didn't have confidence in I think it's what Riley Leonard to really, sit back there confidently and you know, consistently through an entire game against Ohio State defense. It's them silver bullets, dog.
I don't think that they would have been able to keep up with just those running backs alone. Obviously, Ohio State is known for their wide receivers and the freshman Jeremiah Smith, like you said. But it did take a little while for them to get the pass game going a little bit. But luckily, they had Junkins, they had Henderson. How important was for them to get that run game going, which is imperative in any level of the game.
I mean, it makes them unguardable. All right. Like, I know Notre Dame came out heavy in the run. Um, we might have not have came out really throwing it deep, but Will Howard was very consistent. And that's just quick screen games and getting into your playmakers. And Becca Ibuka taking it 8, 9, 10 yards. Judkins catching a little screen, getting 8, 9, 10 yards. And then handing it off. And what you do is you try and make a defense stretch laterally and vertically. And that's what they did. When you're able to run the ball, You bring everybody in tight. Okay, let's get out into the perimeter. Now let's stretch them out. Okay, throw everything underneath. Let's bring them down. Okay, then right when the big time plays happen, right, we're able to get over top, and that's the mind games of football, man. And Ryan Day and himself, they put one together for sure.
What do you make from, now that they won the national championship? What do you see moving forward now that the NIL deals and the transfer portal is more player friendly? Like what's next?
I mean, what's next is beating Michigan. Okay, I'm glad we got the national championship. And I'm glad that we know what that standard is. In the last, was it 4 games that we played is Ohio State standard football. We have to bring that same energy, continue to have that same energy, and find. I think what Will's a senior now, so he might be gone. We need to find out who this new play caller is going to be behind center. Slinging it for sure and continue to keep that same tradition, the same standard of being the best in the country, Ohio against the world. And I know those guys are going to be able to get it together and continue to do that. Man, Jeremiah's a freshman. We're going to see him for at least 2 more years. Phenomenal. I'm telling you, hey, keep on the radar for another 260 Fort Wayne native kid, man, Mylan Graham, number 5. He's going to be up and coming as well, and I'm excited for him. But man, it's going to be it's crazy to see, man, how you can just bring in the best player in the country for, a little NIL money, man. But they're going to do it. Ohio State's going to spend the money to make sure that they have a really competitive roster.
Now, you were Ohio State wide receiver from 2016 to 2019 before going to the NFL. But before we get into that, man, what is it about Ohio State literally grabbing, like you said, the best wide receiver dang near every year? I remember when Garrett Wilson first came out, they was like, oh, he's the best Ohio State wide receiver ever. And I remember when there was plenty of guys before him, and now they're saying Jeremiah Smith is better than, Garrett Wilson, the way that they're talking about him. And I don't think I mean, honestly, Garrett Wilson is probably one of the nastiest wide receivers, but we still got Michael Thomas. We still got, guys like freaking
Mm.
Brian Hartline. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, who really is like the top 5 wide receivers from Ohio State from your perspective?
Ooh. Chris Carter, Joey Galloway, my top two, for sure, hands down. Um, And I'm not gonna put guys that are currently playing that I'm gonna just graduated. All right. I want to see 2 more years of Jeremiah. I need that. I need a full cut. All right. I'm gonna go with Joey and Chris. Those are my top two for sure. And not in order, but for sure. I'm just gonna name you 5. Uh um Mike Thomas, for sure. I gotta go with Marvin Harrison. And these are Chris and Garrett are my young bulls. I had them as a senior. So it's hard to go between them. But I'm gonna actually go with Chris Olave, man.
Yeah, I people forget about Chris Olave,
Go
man.
Chris, man.
Smoothest route runner ever from what I'm hearing. Like,
Nice.
now you're from Indiana, man. How was your recruiting process going over to Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was obviously different. We didn't have the NIL, old school recruiting, no transfer portal. Well, you could transfer, you just had to sit out a year. Um, but man, I was an Urban Meyer guy. Urban Meyer recruited me hard, but I went to, from being from Indiana, you actually aren't. You just don't have coaches coming to Indiana schools. All right? You naturally have coaches going to Texas and Florida, California, not Indiana, man. We're known for hooping. All right. And the only thing I can do is shoot. They call me Clay. But Urban Meyer really recruited me. I came to a bunch of camps in at Ohio. I think it was a Friday Night Lights camp. Was the first time he really noticed me, and I mean, I was able to really ball out in high school. And I ended up getting an offer from Ohio State, and that's when the rest of them came. The Alabamas, the rest of the SEC, the rest of the Big Ten. And it ended up coming down to Ohio State, Michigan, Tennessee. Surprising, I didn't really care about the rivalry at the time. I mean, the reason really picking Ohio State was, opportunity to play, education, and then just, feeling like home, man. I went to a private high school, Catholic high school. I really didn't want to, feel like I was following Jalen Smith, who went to the same high school as me. and do the similar path and go to Notre Dame. So I was honestly trying to get out of the city a little bit, get out of Indiana, and not be too far. Tennessee was just a little too far, but um, I wasn't a big fan of Harbaugh either. So Urban really was my guy, man, and he was a hell of a coach, man. He really helped me to become a pro, man, and it was a amazing 4 years, 3.5 years, really with him.
Yeah, currently residing in Utah, and everyone loves Urban Meyer out here. I got an opportunity to meet him and different events, and from the Pac-12 championship, he was there, and a couple of events he came out to speak for at the Utah football events. So they love him out here. Nothing but great things about Coach Urban Meyer. Um, and so now you get on campus, and was your mind blown at all? Like you walk around and you seeing all of this, hype that just comes with just wearing the Buckeye jersey, and then you go to practice. I mean, who were some of the teammates that stuck out to you when you first came on, and then you became a big dog? You said Garrett and those young bulls was your young guys after when you left. But what was that process for you? Who were some of the guys that you looked up to and was like, wow, I'm in the same locker room with this guy?
No, for sure. I think, going from like a very small town to, almost like a JUCO locker room high school. I was a small school. 6A is the highest in our school, 1A being the lowest. We were a 2A school. So, I mean, like a garage weight room to, the Ohio State facilities and all these flashy new things. And I think more than anything, that was what really shocked me. I'm like, damn, like I get to work out in here. I get to, but it wasn't sweet. I graduated high school early, so I came to spring, winter workouts, and I mean, I'm getting my ass drilled, and that's the biggest thing is you go from a high school program to a college NFL program, and you're, what I'm saying, morning workouts to tutoring to class to back to tutoring to, what I'm saying, like you really get put into a lot of structure when you come in as a freshman because they want to show you, okay, this is what you need to be doing, and we need to make sure you got your stuff together, right? And it's long days. I mean, it's a lot of work being a student athlete at a PWI like Ohio State Power Five school. Man, it was pretty grueling. There wasn't a lot of free time, especially early on. Obviously, your weekends you can have a great time. It's definitely a good time at Ohio State, but more importantly, it was, I think, coming in and seeing how hard you worked every single day and being able to not take a nap and go straight to class. You know what I mean? Like as a high school kid who,
Yeah.
to that type of mentality. And then it's like, I got Curtis Samuel in the room, Noah Brown. I got all these guys that's around me that's doing the same stuff. And I'm like, all right, I need to get on this type of wave, right? And when we get to spring practice, these are the corners I'm going against in practice, right? Garyon Conley, first round corner. Marshawn Lattimore, first round corner. Denzel Ward, first round corner. Okay. Damon Arnett, first round corner. All right. So this was fun. This is practice, bro. This shit's I mean, it's a war every day. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm with the threes, whatever. I'm going against, the ones. I'm like, oh, it's a tough period. Okay, I get to go against the twos. All right, here comes Denzel. Like, all right, it don't get no easier. You know what I'm saying? It don't get no easier. And so, like, being able to, in high school, man, I can get through it, whatever. I'm the best athlete out there to everybody next to me is the best athlete from their state, from their city, from their school. And you got to compete every single day. You know what that means?
No,
Like,
both of them.
you know what I'm saying? And mentally, I got to come bring it every single day. And we wear the pads almost every day in spring practice. Boy, we hitting, and you got to come bring it every day. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, understand what it means to be a pro, not only just a student athlete, but a pro, and being able to realize that your body is your moneymaker. Okay, how can I continue to build it, sustain it, and shoot, stay mentally sane? You know what I'm saying, right? And fully take care of myself. I think those were the biggest things, challenges, man, going in. But after your freshman year, things get easier. You start to understand, the program, or you don't. It was one or two ways. Usually with Urban Meyer, it was like you either loved him, or you just hated him because it was, a lot of psychology, a lot of fear factor, but he really tested you to your limits, and it was either people broke or you understood it as tough love and you found a way to get through it, and that's how you grow, right? And um there's a lot of competition, man. That's really what Ohio State is all about, is competition, competing.
But what were some of the lessons that you learned in your NFL journey? Because you rubbed shoulders with so many different guys, from coaches to personnel to, owners. What was that experience like for you to get prepared for a chapter that you probably didn't see coming at the time, going to the CFL?
Yeah, man. Crazy time. I was actually projected pretty high, 47th. And then the COVID hit. So I missed a lot of pre-draft stuff. I was able to do the combine and didn't run well, and I was looking forward to pro day to kind of get that again. And didn't have that time, honestly, which is unfortunate. Regardless, I come in with a whopping 10K signing bonus, and New York Giants undrafted and COVID, and it's all about, just honestly being where your feet are, and just working, regardless of what your plan is. You might not never know what your plan is, but if you stay grounded, if you work, just work, and, just believe, have faith, you know, after 4 weeks of practice squad, I was actually elevated and ended up playing 12 games with the New York Giants my rookie year. Got to the fourth receiver on the depth chart. And for somebody undrafted, I mean, it's a huge accomplishment, right? It was a phenomenal year for myself, somebody who all I was trying to do, my only goal was to make the roster. And I got to the point where I made the roster. I was like, damn, I need another goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, this, I done it. Okay, what's next, right? And well, next year, coaches think I'm going to be the starting slot. First week, you can't pull my hamstring.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Wasn't drafted, and because I wasn't drafted, I didn't really have a lot of, money invested into me. As soon as the camp was over, they released me, injury settlement. And if I was drafted, usually what they do is they hold on to that player and they keep him on IR, right? So I was released, and I thought New York, they had my back, right? And so you learn that this is a business, and you learn that it's transactional, but at the end of the day, you have to be available, and it's not emotional, and it's not personal. And the number one thing is availability, over talent, over potential, right? And if I'm not available, if I can't help the team, there's no other use, right? They're just going to bring somebody else in. Okay, I get another opportunity. San Francisco, right? And finished the year, almost made it to the Super Bowl. Didn't get elevated. It was practice while we were healthy that year. Following year, same situation. Second week in preseason, we're in Minnesota playing the Vikings. It was like my third snap. I run a corner, pop, pull my hamstring again. Okay. Um, After that, this was the 2022 year. This was preseason. I didn't get another call the rest of the year, and you're just at the crib. And it's difficult, right? You're like, dang, like what's next, right? And I had a real inner conversation with myself. Okay, if I want to be this athlete, if I want to be an NFL receiver, am I doing every single day in my day-to-day to lead to that? At the time, maybe I'm sitting in a chair too long, or maybe I'm not focused on my time better. I love games, so I don't know if you like games at all, man. We can hop on the 2K. You can get whooped real quick, but
Hey, we got
sometimes, man, as a sprinter, sitting in a chair is actually not good for you. You know what I mean? And that's just talking a little bit about the body. And so what I did was, man, I had a conversation with my wife. I'm like, man, am I going to continue doing this, or should I, think about an alternate route? And I'm a pretty smart guy, entrepreneur, graduated in finance from Ohio State, and so there's opportunities, but man, I still had some left in the tank, man, and that right there was my switch of, okay, let me change a lifestyle change, and let's make this the real deal, everything, the main focus. And right then and there was just faith and belief of just switching my training and figuring out what was going on with my body, my hamstrings, man, and really figured it out, man. Found the right people, got with a awesome trainer, and I didn't get any more calls. I didn't even think I was going to be able to get back to a team, no tryouts, nothing. And that's when Montreal called, man. CFL, I had no idea. What the hell is CFL? Right? And I do a little bit of research on the team, have a bunch of conversations, and I'm like, this is the only opportunity I got. I got to get filmed somehow. And I go up here with blind faith into a French province. Don't know how to speak French. Um, and ball out, man. I have one of the best years. I actually ended up winning the Grey Cup, which is the Super Bowl of Canadian Football League, with a team that was projected to be the worst team in the league. And to do the things that we did, the relationships I built, man, it kind of just brought me back to, just life and enjoying where I'm at and not focusing on trying to get somewhere. And it was one of the most memorable times, man, winning the Grey Cup and being a part of that team. And then it was another opportunity with the Falcons, man, and I signed with them after that year, go through preseason. And this time around, it was politics, man. And it was having then another conversation. Do I want to continue being in the same, okay, try out, work out for the team, make practice squad, stick around on practice squad, maybe get elevated, maybe get not, or potentially another opportunity, man. And Montreal offered another opportunity to create some stability for me and my family, and for me in the position where I'm at, man. And I have two kids, and that's really what we want to do, man. We want to settle down, we want to be able to build, and it's nice having a organization that believes in you and actually cares about you. That feeling right there is you haven't got it since I was at Ohio State. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing you really learn in this business and athletics. It's all about availability. It's all about performance, and it's a pretty transactional relationship, but it's never personal. There's a great people in this business, but it's tough and it's unfortunate, and you see it all the time, and it's hard to come back from injuries, and that's something that I've dealt with most of my career, and to come back and do the things that I've done, and I'm excited to now take off with my CFL career these next 4 years, is to continue that and continue being a pro and hopefully inspire some kids up here, man, in Canada, man. So it's been fun, it's been a journey, but the journey isn't done yet, man. So still going.
Wow, man, beautifully said, man. So a couple more questions for you, man, because I appreciate you so much for your time. You mentioned family, bro, and that's a big thing for me, bro. I have my daughter, and my transition to where I am in life. My daughter's in the trenches with me. If I ever get her award, she's gonna be the first one that I give love to, because she was in the trenches for me before any woman outside of my mother. But for you, man, how big is family for you, man? Now that you're young, you're successful, and is so many attention that comes with just being from Ohio State, but how impactful has family and your wife and your children been in your life?
Well, I mean, honestly, having my first daughter, Leia, I mean, it kind of got my shit together, man. I mean, she was um, really the reason into a lot of these decisions coming forward. And as a man, once you have a child, it's hard to explain. And I tell people this every time. You just got to wait till you have one. It's the best feeling ever, but it's a sense of urgency. And for me, and the type of childhood I had, I want to make sure she has so much more, the opportunities. And, I'm from the struggle. I'm from very, very low beginnings, and first generation in a lot of things. And so um, my daughter has been to Europe. My daughter has, traveled the world with my wife. And I didn't get out of the country. I didn't get a passport until I was 22 years old. Stuff like that, right? I didn't get on a flight until high school. And she's gotten her, like, when you get on like a plane as a kid, they can get their little wings. Like, she's gotten all these things, and honestly, it's just legacy. And regardless if I ever have a boy, I want a boy, but I got two girls right now, girl dad. It's all about just pouring into them, man. So much knowledge, so much experience, and just giving them. And kids are infinite potential. And as we grow, I don't know if you know this, some psychology talk real quick, Nard. As we grow older, synapses actually close in our mind, and we end up becoming who we are. But we lose access to other parts of our brain, which is skills, which is techniques, arts, right? And right now as children, man, they have infinite potential. That's why they want to get to know everything about this world. And I don't want to get in the way of her or both of my girls ever reaching their fullest potential. And so for me, family is everything. For me is providing, but then being a father, and making sure I'm around as much as possible. and giving them as many opportunities, like I said, that I can, and being a great example of what a man looks like, what a husband looks like, what a father looks like, and you know, it's a scary world to raise kids in today's age, especially with AI and with stuff that sick people out there, man. So we try and protect them as much as possible, but it's it's a lot of self-learning myself and a lot of trial and error, man. I say I'm not this is my first time, and it's fun though. It's absolutely a blessing, and I have a beautiful wife that's really holding it down for us. So without support of that and family, man, it's hard to do a lot of the things that I'm trying to do as an athlete or anything else in my life. So uh, they're my why. They're definitely a lot of the reason why I do what I do. Get up every single day and you know you see some of my workouts, man, some of my stories. I'm dying on this. That's real. That's real death every single day. But to do that, there's do that to yourself. You gotta have a why, and they're definitely my why, man, and one of my foundations to what I like to live on every single day.
And last question for me, man. One thing that Nard Knows pride ourselves on is the how. And I know that the things that you have gone through from injuries, and I know all about hamstring injuries. That's the main thing that I struggle with in my athletic career. But when you go through that, and then at the level that you did, the highest level, you know, it had to have taken faith. It had to have taken God's purpose and his hand on your life to get through all the things that you went through and then come out unscathed the way that you seem and the way that you look. You know, how impactful has your faith played a role in the journey, in the continuing journey from where you are to where you're going?
Yeah, I think it's everything. It's funny you say that. I think I grew up in a Christian family, very, very religious family. And I was very faith driven in college. And I had a lot of success early. And then I had a really significant injury, and I had some people around me that were really negative, and it kind of brought me to a dark place, depression and mental health stuff. And when you're in some dark, times in your life and stuff isn't going right, that's when you always want to rely on your faith. But more importantly, everybody wants life to be like this, and it's not that. It's it's this. But it's as long as you're moving, that's all that matters. And when you're down here in this pit, how long is it going to take you to get up here? And what I've seen is in my life, the longest times that I've been in darkness is because I haven't stayed faith driven. And I haven't, you know what I'm saying, grounded myself. Let me get on my hands and knees. Let me pray. Let me pray. Let me ground myself. And like I said earlier in this interview, you gotta buy back into yourself. You gotta self-care. You gotta take care of yourself. Every single day I wake up, I get on my hands and knees, I pray, I meditate, just to start my day. And to do that, you have to be grounded. And um, you a lot of people aren't so, you know, God, they don't like religion or ideology. And I understand that. Something that I really resonate to, that I call my spiritual Bible, is a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And he talks about being present. He talks about it's the psychological tools of a lot of stress comes from worrying about the past and worrying about the future. And what are you doing right now? And that's going to always dictate, moving forward. And for me, it's being at peace and being grounded. But in any time of trial or any type of, always got to have faith and belief. Just believe. My good friend Jesse Bates, man, who's an all-pro safety for the Atlanta Falcons, his motto is just believe, and it comes from that same belief, man. You gotta have faith in anything that you do, rather sports, anything, like anything in life. You gotta have faith. You gotta have belief in whatever you believe in, but you gotta have faith in something, otherwise, it hasn't worked well for me. And I'm not no priest, so I'm not gonna say what the otherwise is. But Nard, you know what I mean? For me, man, it's been extremely helpful, dog. Like it's definitely been a driven force, and um, helped me stay centered for sure.
Well, make no mistake, man, it's a reason why you are where you are. And I'm thankful that you're here right now with me sharing your story, man. Once again, congratulations on the national championship, and God bless you, bro. Along the rest of your way, we're gonna be locked in, bro, for sure.
No doubt, Nard. Man, appreciate you, brother. It's awesome to be a part of your show today, man. Uh, Enjoy Utah. I haven't been out there in Utah, man, but I hope it's out. Is it warm out there in Utah? Is it
It's
cold?
actually 10 degrees right now. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
freezing. It's freezing up here, man. So stay warm, man. And God bless you as well, bro. And enjoy parenting with your beautiful daughter as well, man. Good luck to you, bro.
Girl, dad power.
Yes, sir. Already, brother.
Nard Knows.